everybody. Replacement for the 580K. I know some of you are laughing that the K didn't stay very long, and the reason for that is this one came up fairly local to us, and I've always had a soft spot for these diggers because it's what my dad had brand new in 1987. This is a 1986 Turbo Sightmaster, 98 horsepower Perkins turbo. Starting to rain here now. 4-wheel drive, extender hoe. You know, bought this one because it was a nice, straight, tidy example of what we thought it was. We've done quite a lot of work with it. Surprising how useful even these old girls are. Extender hoe. Haven't got a quick hitch for it yet, but it would be handy. Beside it is my son's JCB 3C Mark III. Not a lot older than this digger actually. I think this was from the very late 70s. Extender hoe again. Completely different design back acca on them. 3CX is a lot lighter. You see the king post and the boom design of the 3C is a lot heavier. Very similar reach, about 6 meters or so. 3CX has got an up and over window. The 3C, the big, you got to lift it and slide it to one side. This is a powertrain model, so you got a torque converter. It didn't like the Brockhouse one. It was the later ones that I think went into the 3CXs, the early 3CXs. 70 odd horsepower Leyland engine. 4-in-1 bucket on this one as well. Non-genuine cab, but it is a cab, but the cab does need a lot of work. Mechanically it's quite good. Starts first, turn the key. Yeah, it's show you inside the cab of this one. As you can see, you got to climb up over the steps. Step over. Originally on the Mark IIIs there would have been a fold open door on that lower section. That's been done away with on this digger. There's your powertrain, forward and reverse. 3 levers for your lift, tip and curl on the bucket, and your opening and closing on the 4-in-1. Sliding door. 2 pedals in and out for the extender hoe. This one here is a lot nicer, a lot lighter to use control wise on the back acca than the 3CX. Black Cab 3CXs were a lot heavier. That one's a lot heavier on the rear hydraulic controls than this one is to use. This one's a lot smoother, a little bit nicer to use, but not quite as quick. Your hand throttle, and let's see your window goes across on that bar and stows to the side there and latches in when it's open. So you've got your sliding door on this. Vision's not, well, you can see for yourself. It's a bit like driving a battle tank, but I suppose there's a lot of steel here and it's lasted the test of time. So the vision is quite compromised, as in what you can physically see from the cab. You're seeing roughly what I can see eye level, so a lot more digging by feel with this one. We'll get out and have a look at the 3CX. The king posts were a little bit of a weak spot on these. A lot of their competitors use twin rams, push left and right. They've got a rack and pinion system in there, so a piston with teeth, it slides to and fro on that and meshes into a splined, and on that the splines can wear and strip, which can, you know, you can end up with excessive side to side movement, or eventually they just give up and they'll just stop slewing. I think you can get a kit for about £1,200–1,500 to rebuild that, which is sensible money, but you know, fairly heavy lifting. This one is good. This one's got a bloody good king post. All the lights work on this. All the glass is intact, all the mirrors, even the little bit of plastic trim at the bottom of the doors, like your boots scuffing, I suppose. Quite a few genuine stickers up there. Always specify a JCB. Power plan plus JCB. It's quite a big thing JCB had at the time to promote their diggers. Dad had a 87, which this was close-ish to it, but he only had the 72 horsepower straight four cylinder power because he always hankered after the turbo version. You can get a better view of how heavy everything is on the 3C. There's no self-leveling on this one, although you could get self-leveling as an option, but it was a completely different front loader boom on that. This one you can see all the self-leveling. Pallet forks, which is quite handy. A lot of people don't like that to make a rattle and a bang, but for what we use a wheel digger for, it's handy. You know, it isn't going to replace a telehandler, but it's better than having nothing at all. Try to lift it with straps and chains and bits of scaffold pole. JCB's own four-wheel drive front axle, JCB's own torque converter. These are a bit of a pain to get up into as you get older because you've got quite a step from there up. But some people fit extra steps or toolboxes to them. He did actually win a Queen's Award. See the original stickers up there for transport height, tyre pressures, things like that. Somebody's original radio. A later non-smoking edition. On these ones you had an electric full reverse, which was that one. My dad had three boys, all under the age of 10, on site, riding around. We'd all sit there. My favourite thing for when Dad was using the back acca was to flip this one over. This you can't see it. This sort of safety thing over, it locks the forward reverse. Dad would swing the seat around and go to knock it into forward. And of course I'd been fiddling, so used to keep things entertaining. But that's your electric forward and reverse, neutral. That one there's your four-wheel drive. On the slightly earlier 3CXs they had a big manual, something similar to that, but coming out the side of there for the forward reverse. But your stop, hand throttle, loader controls with a little dump switch, 4-in-1 control lever, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the gears. Indicators, you know, interior light still works. Everything still works on this machine. Part of the reason why I bought them. The seat cover was good and tidy, the original seat cover. Get around to the back. You know, there's not a lot of slack or play in this. The original, I like to see the original plastic cover over the top of the king post. You can see I've put a bit of fiberglass over that because it's gone brittle with age. It's started to crack a little bit, but I've fiberglass over the top of it to keep the water out. You've got your big triangular plate, which is your locking for transport. You see the king post on this is a lot lighter design. Originally that would have been that little lever down there. There would have been a little small hydraulic ram to work off that lever. There's a little reservoir inside that toolbox that would have opened and closed the transport lock without getting out the cab. But that's died on this one. So it's something I'll have to fiddle with on another day. There's the other. But less than 6-7 years difference between these two. Some people will prefer the 3C, some people will prefer the 3CX. Obviously got a lot better vision on the 3CX, a lot big area of glass, more opening windows, up and over window, sliding window. And what most people like these diggers for is the soundtrack. yeah, but we still use this one quite a lot. It hasn't been used very much the last couple of months, but back in the summer it did a 2 or 3 week stint. No problems at all, no blown hoses, very minimal fuel use. We're running this on white like the rest of our tracked excavators now. We're running all those on white, unfortunately. As the new government guidelines have told us we've got to do. You can see the good vision there down from the cab doors, all glass. Got to be careful with letting the wind don't catch it and break it. The access to the bonnet, to the underneath everything under the bonnet, was a little side panel. You can get to your water, hydraulic tank, torque converter, and engine oil filler through that little tiny hatch. We've been keeping it all serviced up with JCB filters. Tyres are good. They got a little bit of perishing, but the age is there, so there's no cooler. As you can see, the king post is a lot smaller design on this. The king post on that is huge. So V-Reg, could be very late 70s, I would have said, if not early 1980. This one, but yeah, just 3C. Won't be used for work, but it's just something we bought on a bit of a whim, but hopefully we'll get time to do it up, but we'll see. Thanks, bye.